In 2001, something impossible emerged from the depths of the Caribbean. It was not a sea creature, nor a secret submarine. It was a city. A submerged city. With pyramids, symmetrical structures, and impossible alignments. 700 meters below sea level. The discovery was so shocking that many named it the Atlantis of Cuba. But almost immediately, the images disappeared. The expeditions were cancelled. And silence descended over the waters. What exactly did they find? Why does no one dare to explore it? And what connection does it have with lost civilizations that official history refuses to recognize? Today, on Sinister Maps, we descend into the abyss to reveal the Caribbean's best buried mystery. A submerged city that could change everything you think you know about humanity. It all begins with a map, as always. And this time, with a sonar. At the western tip of Cuba, near the Guanahacoibes Peninsula, the team from the Canadian company Advanced Digital Communications was performing routine marine mapping tasks. The goal? To look for sunken colonial shipwrecks. But what they captured was not a ship, but huge geometric structures, aligned as if they were the remains of a planned city. According to initial reports, the structures covered an area of almost 2 square kilometers. Pyramid shapes, straight walls, possible roads or causeways were observed. 700 meters underwater. A depth that does not correspond to any known city, not even coastal cultures that could have been wiped out by a tsunami or sea level rise. If those constructions were made by man, they were made before history began. The lead engineer, Paulina Zilitsky, declared then that the structures were too organized to have been formed by natural processes. She even used a remotely operated vehicle, ROV, to obtain images. They showed carved blocks, angular alignments, and what looked like a kind of temple or central platform, partially covered by sediments. Zilitsky suggested it could be a civilization from the pre-ceramic era, even predating modern Homo sapiens. A culture completely forgotten? An anonymous civilization that lived and vanished before any other known? That is when the case moves from mysterious to unsettling. Within weeks, everything stopped. The Cuban government stopped issuing statements. The Canadian company shut down operations. Zilitsky abandoned the project. And no other country has explored the area again. Officially, the data was lost. But in the most conspiratorial circles, talk began of foreign intervention. Rumors say the United States requested access to the images, despite the economic embargo on Cuba at that time. Some unconfirmed reports mention a covert operation, with American submarines inspecting the area. Shortly after, absolute silence. But what makes this discovery so incredible? Not just its size, nor its depth, nor its almost perfect alignment. It is the geological context. For a city to be today's 700 meters deep, it must have been built at a time when the sea level was radically different. And that takes us back more than 50,000 years. But according to conventional science, there were no civilizations at that time. Homo sapiens was barely leaving Africa. Agriculture did not exist. And the first recognized cities appeared 40,000 years later. So, how is it possible? Either the chronology is wrong, or someone built it before us. Here many connect this finding with the mythical Atlantis described by Plato. According to the Greek philosopher, Atlantis was located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, that is, outside the Strait of Gibraltar. And it was an advanced civilization that disappeared beneath the sea in a single day and night after defying the gods. Plato wrote this 2,400 years ago, but claimed the knowledge came from Egyptian sages who dated it 9,000 years before his time. Interestingly, the location proposed by Zilitsky would fit the Atlantic Atlantis. A mother city that could have given rise to cultures like the Mayas, the Olmecs, or even the Egyptians. In fact, the indigenous peoples of the Caribbean and Central America have legends of sunken lands. The Mayas spoke of Mu, or Xibalba, ancient realms swallowed by the ocean. The Taínos spoke of the land that disappeared under the waves, and the Olmecs, mother culture of Mesoamerica, appeared out of nowhere, with astronomical, architectural, and mathematical knowledge that still baffles archaeologists. What if those cultures were heirs to an earlier civilization? One that lived in the Caribbean and disappeared? Tectonically, the area of Cuba sits on a complex system of faults and unstable platforms. Some independent researchers have theorized that an ocean floor collapse, combined with sea level rise at the end of the last ice age, could have submerged an entire inhabited landmass. And if so, the found structures wouldn't be unique. There are other similar, lost cities, Yonaguni, in Japan, underwater stone structures with steps, passageways, and walls. Dwarka, in India, a submerged city off the coast of Gujarat, considered one of the oldest on the planet. Bimini Road, in the Bahamas, a line of megalithic blocks that many believe to be part of an Atlantean causeway. All this suggests a global pattern. A world before ours. A lost cycle. And the discovery off Cuba would be the most important piece of that puzzle. So why has no one returned? Why does the scientific community not investigate further? Why are there no recent reports? Why does it seem like someone wants us to forget it? There are many theories. Some point to military secrecy. Others, to fear of rewriting official history. And others, to the fact that the discovery would mean admitting that human civilizations are not the first form of technological intelligence on Earth. Maybe there was another before. And the submerged city off Cuba is the last witness to its existence. What do you think? Natural formations that look artificial? Forgotten ruins of a lost civilization? Or an uncomfortable truth buried under 700 meters of water and 50,000 years of silence? We will keep searching. Because as long as there are incomplete maps, as long as there are dark zones beneath the earth or sea, there will be questions. And Sinister maps will be there to open them. If this mystery has left your mind spinning, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here we don't just explore cursed places. We explore the cracks in history. The zones no one investigates. The secrets that sleep underwater. And the maps, where someone drew the boundary and wrote a warning. Do not enter. But we enter anyway. See you on the next journey. Because the world is not what it seems. And you are already starting to see it.